Welcome to the podcast, Claim Your Excellent Life, with your host, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, where she helps professional women learn how to be happy. Suzanne will teach you how to do this through building high self-esteem, relaxation and calm, and good, healthy relationships. Tune in every week as Suzanne shares effective strategies to help you claim your excellent life with happiness techniques, self-esteem building exercises, relationship tips, and relaxation information. Make sure to head over to dawningvisions.com to subscribe to the newsletter to receive your keys to happiness, as well as other useful free gifts for you.
In this episode of Claim Your Excellent Life, we are going to talk about living life according to your own desires. This is a really important subject, at least for me at this moment in time, because over the past couple of months or so, I've been working really hard to create some really new and different things for Dawning Visions Hypnosis and for myself as well. And the interesting thing is that when a person tries to do something that might be seen as risky, quote-unquote, by the people who so-called love you, they will do their damnedest to let you know that it is not the right thing to do, that you need to think before you jump, not to take a risk, etc., etc. Well, let me tell you something. I do live a pretty interesting life, and I've done a lot of really interesting things over the years. And trust me, many of them were about taking some pretty huge risk, quite frankly. I'm glad that I took those risks because I was able to do some amazing things with amazing people. One has to assess the situation that they are putting themselves into. You don't want to do it mindlessly. But if opportunity arises, or if you know in your heart and your soul that something needs to change because things are not working the way that they need to be working, maybe over a fairly long period of time, it is time to get out of the comfort zone and take the risk. So, at least in my own life, I really do not allow other people to tell me what to do and what not to do. I'm a grown-up and I can make those decisions. And yes, there are times when taking a risk can get you into situations that maybe you'd rather not be in. And that's called life and living, as far as I'm concerned. Because this is the other thing. People who do not like to take a risk are usually the people who like to have their nice little home perfect. They don't really do a whole lot of things other than maybe around their own community, and they just play it safe. Even if they're miserable in their jobs or in their marriage or whatever, they stick to what they know because they're fearful of making a change. I'm here to tell you that if your unconscious mind, that part of your mind that tells you all those little things that maybe you don't want to hear all the time, like maybe you're feeling angry a lot in the relationship you're in, or maybe you feel really stuck in a situation, or maybe a work situation is not what you thought it was going to be, or maybe it was fine to begin with, but bosses changed, or maybe the attitudes of the bosses changed because they went through life situations, like maybe a divorce, that put them into a bad situation. Who knows? But the point here is this. Each of us was given a brain. And that brain is to be used to assess our situations and to be able to decide what is important to us in our lives. Because I can tell you that regardless of the choices that one makes, it's all stressful. Staying in a job with bosses you don't respect or don't like, or who don't treat you very well, maybe all of them, who knows, is not a healthy thing to do. I don't care how much money you're making, it's not healthy for you. You're going to end up sick. Mentally, depressed, anxious, or perhaps autoimmune issues, or even cancer. That is what happens when people are under too much stress for too long. 95% or more of illness is created by stress. So it's important to listen to your body and your mind when it is telling you that you need to make a change. Now, in my situation, I'm really working on creating group programs at this point instead of just doing individual work one-on-one. Why? Because I haven't really been able to bring in enough work one-on-one, and sometimes when people sign up one-on-one and they sign a contract to pay, they don't pay. And that's a problem for someone who's self-employed. With group work, you don't have those situations because you're getting paid a smaller amount by a lot more people, and that works out a lot better. And I figure I've been a trainer since 2007, so it's about damn time I'd actually done a group live program, because I have a lot of stuff to teach, and it's a good thing. And sometimes that means needing to take trips some places, to find venues, to figure out what you want to do, because you really can't pick out a venue for a live event if you don't see it. The glossy pictures might do the place well, but when you get there in person, it looks totally different. I learned this through living in Airbnbs for a while. Some of them were beautiful, they looked beautiful, other ones looked okay, and there were dumps in really bad areas. So you really want to check out the venue, and you want to check out the people that you'd be working with, and the area, and make sure that it all is going to work really well for the people you're inviting to your event. There's no other way to do it. Not really. So that's my new thing right now that I'm working on, and I'm down here in Sarasota, Florida, and I met up with a wonderful woman who has allowed me to stay with her couch surfing wise, and I'm going to be pet sitting for her actually when she goes away to San Antonio, because her friend couldn't do it, and this woman and I get along really, really well. She's wonderful, and her dogs are amazing. Little tiny dogs, so, they're easy to take care of, and they don't jump all over me, which I appreciate. They might jump on me, but they're small enough that it doesn't matter. In any case, if I hadn't come down here, I never would have met this amazing woman. And I never would have met this other kid while I was walking around Siesta Key, who had told me about this amazing Passover that I could go to. I didn't even know it was Passover. I've been so involved in doing my schoolwork for my master's program and working on this, finding the venue that I want to use for this group program I want to run in September. And let me tell you something. I went over there, and it was amazing. There were like 20 people there. There's a Hasidic rabbi who was part of the Chabad movement, so they like to invite people in anyway, and it was really meant for people who didn't have other places to do Passover, and the food was amazing, and it was, truthfully, I think the whole service took 45 minutes before eating the meal. Unheard of in conservative and Orthodox and certainly Hasidic Passovers. But this rabbi was young and cool, and he's just like, well, I want the whole thing to take no more than 2.5 hours. And it didn't take 2.5 hours, and it was all done. And it was a lot of fun. And I met this interesting psychologist at an art show that I went to that my couch-serving hostess told me about. I need to get in touch with her and find a time for us to meet for coffee, because she was all into neuropsych and interesting things, and was really quite interested in the work that I do with the hypnotism and clearing people of so-called non-healable problems or uncurable problems. I don't use the word cure, I don't need to, but if it's healed, it means a person isn't having the problem anymore. That's wonderful. That's what they're looking for, right? I wouldn't have met any of these people if I didn't come down here. And it was amazing. So, you go with the flow, and you allow it to unfold, and you enjoy what you can enjoy, and you realize that sometimes things can get a little challenging sometimes. But in the end, if your heart and your soul is in the right place, things generally do work out very well. And you get to meet all these really cool people too. So take a stand for yourself. Do those things that really are alluring to you for the right reasons, and do them We only have one life that we know of for sure. If you're not living your life, whose life are you living anyway? Because I'm going to tell you right here, right now, if you're living anybody else's life, you most likely are not a very happy person. We need to create for ourselves what works for us. And as the Kabbalist would say, we can have a really great life, even as the chaos is happening around us. It's all about being centered, knowing what you care about, and keeping true to your own goals, values, and belief systems. If you do that, you can make it through pretty much anything on this earth. I know, because I've worked with people who have been through a whole lot more than I have, and they're doing stellar. So, I thank you for taking your time with me. Until next time. If you have enjoyed Claim Your Excellent Life, we'd really appreciate it if you'd go over to iTunes and give it a 5-star review. If you have found Claim Your Excellent Life to be helpful to you, and maybe even life-altering with the information that we have shared here, and to allow us to continue this work, which we really do enjoy doing for you, you can sponsor us at patreon.com. That's spelled P as in Paul, ATREON as in Nancy.com. Again, that's P as in Paul, AT as in Tom, REON as in Nancy.com, where there's a few different levels of sponsorship that you can choose from to help us to continue doing this work. We thank you for any assistance that you are able to give us.
Thank you for listening to the podcast, Claim Your Excellent Life, with your host, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, where she helps professional women learn how to be happy. Suzanne teaches you how to do this through building high self-esteem, relaxation and calm, and good, healthy relationships. Tune in every week as Suzanne shares effective strategies to help you claim your excellent life with happiness techniques, self-esteem building exercises, relationship tips, and relaxation information. Make sure to head over to dawningvisions.com to subscribe to the newsletter to receive your keys to happiness, as well as other useful free gifts for you.